What's up, everyone? It's your host, Ghost, coming back with another wonderful video. The best videos, right? Absolutely the best videos. All right. So, as most people probably know, Andrew Tate did an interview with the BBC. His first interview since he was released from incarceration. Um, so that's what we're going to look at today. Some background. Andrew Tate did a video. Oh, let me see. Hold on. Let me see. He did a video a little bit ago. It was a hilarious video, in my opinion. Let's see. It was. Oh man, this was a while ago. So long ago. Wasn't that long ago, was it? Must be posting a lot of stuff. I don't know. I think I might have missed it. He posted a video a month or so back. Okay, maybe I don't know, or was it on Take Confidential? Is that it? All right. Well, can't find it. I don't even remember. Anyways, he posted a video like a while back, and it was about so a little backstory. Vice News did an interview with Tristan, or not Tristan, with Andrew. It was a while ago. I don't even remember when they did it. But they did an interview with a guy named Matthew. I don't even know his last name, but they didn't end up showing they ended up clipping the hell out of the video and made it like really like stupid. Well, not they didn't make the video stupid, but it was a hit piece basically. It was a hit job, which what it was. Anyways, so when Andrew and Tristan, his brother, got arrested, that's when Vice News put out the video or the interview that they did. It's a big old hit piece, and then so the guy Matthew, maybe a couple months or so after Andrew got out of jail, or a few days after Andrew got out of jail, I don't even know the timeline, but he contacted Andrew asking for another interview, wanting to do another interview. And Andrew made a very funny video. Basically, like, just he basically was making fun of Matthew, and he like made Matthew like he wanted a box of chocolates from him to get an interview, made him jump through some hoops and whatever. But I guess either Vice News is owned by BBC or, anyways, not important. I think. Anyways, I'm pretty sure that Matthew talked about the BBC and said that that the only way Andrew could get an interview was with Matthew being involved. I could be totally wrong about that, but I swear I remember when I was watching the video. You should watch it if you can find it, but you should watch the interview that or not the interview, but the video Andrew Tate made about this whole interaction with Matthew. And you should watch that video because Matthew kind of insinuates, Andrew Tate's not going to get a video or an interview with the BBC if Matthew's not involved, and that turned out not to be true. If I'm right on the whole thing, because Andrew 21 hours ago posted a video of his BBC interview in full, and it was amazing. And the best part is the interviewer who was a woman, rage quit in the middle of the interview, which I think is hilarious. And there's no other term for it. She rage quit. But so we're gonna watch the whole interview. I'm sure there's a good chance a lot of you have seen it, but I'm still gonna grift off this and we'll watch it. All right. Stupid stream deck. There we go. So I'm gonna just throw that full screen. Come on, Romo. You can do it. What? No, that's not it. There we go. All right. So let's go. So it says the BBC has begged Andrew Tate for an interview for the last 6 months. So within the last 6 months, everything. They sent a list of sanitized questions and promised a fair and balanced interview. You'll see how false that was. The Tates finally agreed to their begging, and they ignored all of their promised questions and attempted a hitch job. This is what happened.
Andrew Tate. Hello. You've agreed to do an interview with the BBC today.
Yep.
The material is going to be published on television, on radio, online.
Perfect.
We are doing an interview with you because you're facing some very serious allegations.
Correct.
Rape, human trafficking.
Yep.
And also because there's a great deal of concern about the things you say and the impact that they have on young people, on women.
I don't think the concern's about the things I say. I think the concern is for the level of influence I have and the reach I have.
That's really true. It's if Andrew Tate had 1,000 followers on YouTube, then no one would say a thing. Like, he wouldn't be canceled on every platform or anything like that. So yeah, it's not about what he says, really. It's the influence. Well, I mean, part of it's what he says, but most of it's the influence that he has. Because if a lot of people start agreeing with him, then obviously he has influence and everything like that. Well, not the influence, but he has a lot of people that will watch him. There'll be a good amount that'll agree with him, and that will will slowly shift the culture.
I would argue that a lot of the things that are already out there inside of the legacy media and the matrix as a whole are far more damaging than the things I say.
Concern about the influence you have being a harmful influence, but let's start with the allegations.
Not necessarily a harmful influence. The fact that I'm massively influential over the youth, and I understand that. But it's my influence as a whole which people are afraid of, not necessarily the things I say.
Let's start with the allegations. Have you raped anybody?
Absolutely not.
Have you trafficked anybody?
Absolutely not.
Exploited any women for
Absolutely
money?
not.
But you have admitted using emotional manipulation to get women to work in
the emotional manipulation. For anyone that doesn't know, emotional manipulation isn't a crime. And I think that's a really key thing. Like, everyone keeps pointing, oh, he emotionally manipulated someone. Well, I mean, if you want to be honest about it, women emotionally manipulate men all the time, but no one bats an eye. I mean, I'm sure people have seen the various, chicks talking about going on foodie dates where, they go on a date with a guy they have zero interest in, but to get free food. And that's why they go in, and they're, emotionally manipulating, making the guy think, oh, she's interested in me. If I, take her out to dinner, treat her well, she'll go out with me and shit like that. And maybe she'll date me. Maybe she'll have sex with me, stuff like that. So, I mean, I guess it's only a problem when guys do it in reverse. And, I guess, what they're calling his emotional manipulation is him just meeting a girl, getting her to fall in love with him, and then them both. Well, I'll just have him say it in his own words.
Firstly, let's begin let's start at the beginning. I'm facing charges. The first one you mentioned, the rape one's already been thrown out by a judge. There's no evidence of it.
So that's the first I've heard about it when I watched this, was that the rape charge has been thrown out, which is good news. But this is the first I think anyone's ever heard that the rape charges were thrown out, which is good because he didn't, obviously.
Secondly, it's very difficult for me to sit here and have a very frank and honest conversation with you while we're in the territory of Romania about a legal case that's going on within Romania.
Yeah. So what if you're unaware, you can still get incriminated by, if he's, because no charges have been. Andrew is not charged with a crime, so if he says something that could incriminate him, then they could get him with charges from just doing interviews. So he's got to be very, very careful here.
I have to protect myself. I've agreed to do an interview with you, and I want to be as honest with you as possible. But I can't incriminate myself in any way, and I have to be very careful with what I talk about.
There are no charges yet.
Correct.
See, you like how she's like, she jumped there. Oh, well, there's no charges yet. Trying to box him in. But she was just talking about the charges, but there's no charges yet.
There are no
Judge
charges.
has said that
There are no
more
charges,
evidence must
and I've agreed to speak to you. But I have to be as honest and frank as I can, while also protecting myself and following my legal counsel.
So let's talk about what you've said yourself then. You have said on the website, for your original website for the Hustlers University, that you emotionally manipulated women to fall in love with you so that you could get them working in the sex industry for your financial gain.
As I said, I have to be very careful with what I say, but let's put it this way. No women are coming out against me and accusing me of doing it.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not. Who?
There's testimony from the current investigation.
The current investigation, which I cannot discuss, which I know intimately and you don't. I can tell you right now that the women who are in this case file.
Which, I mean, if you've followed this whole thing, you know that, I mean, one, there's no charges, obviously, which is kind of important. There's been no charges for 6 months, the 3 months or so when he was in prison, and however, was it 2 months he was in prison? The 3 months he was in prison, I don't know. I don't even remember how long. But there's been no charges since he was arrested. There's been no charges since his house arrest, and it came out. And if you watch the Fresh and Fit, they debunked the two main accusers, and they showed proof that they planned this and they planned to lie, and they were laughing about it and everything. Like, you should watch the Fresh and Fit episode. I'll bring it up just so y'all can see it, because I think it's very important. Because if anyone who doesn't know, Fresh and Fit are really tight with Andrew. They've been to his house. They talked to him, and what people don't know about what a lot of people probably know about Ryan or Myron is he was a former federal agent that fucking testing. He's a former agent that I can't even find their goddamn true arrest. Okay, here it is. I'm trying to, but he's a former federal agent that with HSI, the Homeland Security, and stupid fucking thing, and I'm trying to like bring this up so y'all can see it. But he's a former federal agent that would actually investigate human trafficking and stuff. So he kind of knows the signs and everything. But if you guys want to watch the video of Myron debunking all this, let's see. This is it right here. It's called Emergency Meeting. The Matrix tried to attack the Tates, but they made one huge mistake. This is where they this was in December. This is where they basically debunk it all. Just want to show you guys that so you guys know where to go. We're not gonna watch it, but I just want to show that. All right, back to the Tate interview.
There are 2 American women who have been caught already admitting they're lying, and then no.
And that's all. That's in the Fresh and Fit video. Is I thought oh, maybe they're both American. I thought one was from Moldova, but I could be wrong. I know one definitely was American, but yeah, they got WhatsApp messages that prove that they're lying. So
Nobody else is accusing me of anything.
To begin with, it's very common in cases like this that the alleged victims do not always see themselves as victims.
Well, that's very interesting. It's actually extremely interesting because if I was a matrix-controlled organization, my goal was to slander somebody and try and destroy their name. You're telling me that they've chosen a crime which, 1, is heinous, of course, because it damages the person's credibility. And 2, you're saying that even if everyone else involved, if you have 5 people and everyone's sitting there saying, no, nobody's hurt anybody, we like Andrew, we've all worked together, we're friends, etc.
That's not what everybody's saying.
No.
that's kind of important too. If like basically what he's getting at is like, so say if say that you were charged with like one person is accusing you of a crime, and the police come and arrest you and everything, and then like say one person's accusing you of a crime, but there's 4 other people that were not involved, but they're like they try and wrap into the crime as well, like the crime that was no. Okay, let me try that. So if one person is accused you of a crime, and were considered a victim in that crime, and say that there were 4 other people alongside that one victim, the police would consider the 4 as victims too, even if they say, no, we're not victims, we don't agree with this at all. That's basically what he's getting at.
Let me read you some of the testimony from the current investigation.
Can I finish this?
One of the witnesses said...
Can I finish this?
You're not answering the question I've asked you. You're not answering the question
I am answering the question. You're saying,
me read you the testimony of one of the witnesses.
You're saying the people who are involved in this, even if they say they're not victims, that they're still going to try and attack me and pretend they're victims.
Treated as victims by the case that's ongoing. And not all of them are saying that. One of the witnesses says...
We can't go into the case. The case is open and active.
Well, let's just be clear that not all of the witnesses in the case are behaving in the way you describe. And
I would really like to. I mean, obviously they can't discuss it because again, it would hamper their defense and everything. It would compromise their defense and everything. That's why they're preventing her from asking that particular question, because if he makes a comment on that and whatever, that could hinder his defense. No matter what his comment is, the prosecution will try and use it as a way to hinder his defense. So that's why they're stopping her from, which these are obviously loaded questions, and they're basically trying to get Andrew to incriminate himself very poorly, because I'm pretty sure that woman that you hear in the background, I think that's his lawyer, so she's not going to let that fly at all.
Even those that are, it doesn't bar them from being treated as victims by the prosecution, by the case.
We have an open criminal investigation. I am absolutely not really sure I'll be found innocent. I know the case.
I bet he will be too.
It's better than you. I know it intimately and you don't. I have seen all the criminal files and the evidence against me and you haven't. I know the truth of what happened and you don't. And I'm telling you absolutely not really, I've never hurt anybody, that the case that's been put against me is completely not really fabricated. And I'm never going to be found guilty of anything. And it's very difficult for me to answer your in-depth questions because we're sitting here inside of the territory of Romania. I'm beholden to the Romanian legal system. And I'm not going to incriminate myself because you're trying to prod me. You are wrong.
I'm willing to bet, even though they said they won, I'm willing to bet that when they're, after I think the 6 months that, because in Romania, you can be not charged, but you can be put into custody for 6 months and not charged. So I'm willing to bet after the 6 months expired and no charges are, came up and they're basically free and clear, I'm willing to bet the Tates are going to get out of Romania. I think they've said they're going to keep staying there. No, I'm willing to bet they're getting the fuck out of there, because that's what I would do. If you accuse me of a crime I didn't commit, and you didn't charge me for 6 months, and you took my liberty away from me, yeah, I'm getting the fuck out of there. So I'm willing to bet they are. And they'll probably go to Dubai because they have like some real estate holdings there or something.
Wrong, and we're going to have to accept that for now and talk about something else.
Let me read you then what you have said about what you have done.
Sure.
You have said, my job was to meet a girl, go on a few dates, sleep with her, get her to fall in love with me to the point where she'd do anything I say, and then get her on webcam so we could become rich together.
I think that's pretty key there. Together, not him being rich himself, but rich together. That's kind of important. And nowhere in that statement does he say forces her against their will. Like, yes, he makes them fall in love with him, so they, or what he says. He says he didn't say that. But like in that quote, I mean, he says, or in the quote, it says, make them fall in love with me, so they'll do anything I want to do, and but the key thing is it's not him forcing them to do what he wants. It's the love they have for him, their own emotions that cause them to do whatever he would want. In the quote that's the general quote. I think that's kind of really key because they talk about coercion and stuff later on, but coercion requires force. If no force is or threat of force or threat of force, if no force or threat of force has occurred, it's not coercion. So, I mean, you can call it emotional manipulation, but that's not a crime. And I think that's really important.
I don't think that's what I personally said. I think that's
exactly what
no,
you said
that's no, I've never said that. That's something.
If that's exactly what he said, BBC, put the video up. You can't.
That you found on the internet doesn't mean I've said it. And again, once again, if any female on the planet has a problem with me, I strongly recommend her to go to the police and try and pursue me for criminal charges. It's actually very interesting that me, one of the most famous people in the world, who's been vilified by the legacy media and places all over the internet, while everyone has attacked me from every single angle, while federal agencies from multiple countries have called over 2,000 women who know me, we stand here with 0 new accusations since my arrest.
That's really like when I was watching this, he pointed this out, and that's really, I mean, I haven't heard any new accusations. And think about this, guys. I mean, whenever you hear like someone like Harvey Weinstein or a Kevin Spacey or whatever, whenever someone famous gets accused of something, generally there's a few chicks that come out of the woodwork, even if they're lying or something, like with Brett Kavanaugh. He had Christina Blasey Ford or whatever. Ford, anyways, she originally accused him, and then there was a few more people that came out. I mean, they ended up, admitted they were lying, but they came out and saying the same thing, like, oh yeah, he did, he raped me as well or whatever. But none of this has happened. You got 5 accusers, quote unquote, and according to Andrew and even the BBC lady agreed, there's actually only like 1 accuser or 2 accusers. There's like 1 or 2 accusers, maybe 3, I don't know, but there's only 1 or 2 accusers, and then the other 3 are saying, no, we're not actually victims, but they're being treated like victims even if they say they're not. But if this was something that was real and honest, or even if it's even though it's not real honest, you haven't seen any more women come out and say, yo, he did this to me too, even liars. So that's really interesting. I didn't really notice that until you pointed it out.
0. If you took any famous person, any man of substantial wealth, and you called 2.
This is, Andrew's trying to make the same point I just made. But yeah.
2,000 women who knew him. They'd find an ex-girlfriend is upset, somebody who wants money who's upset. They called 2,000 people who knew me and could not find a single woman to make a new complaint. The only complaints they have against me are the initial complaints, which we can prove are lies, and that's where it stands. So I'm not going to sit here and allow you to pretend that I'm some kind of evil predator, when actually I'd argue the fact that people who've been investigated to the level I've been investigated to, if you were to take the average man on the street and investigate his entire life for 14 months, call everyone who's ever known him, and vilify.
I believe there's a saying that says, find me a man, I can make them like I think there's like a lot of like, you know, there's like some half true, half jokes or whatever saying like if they want you to be guilty of something, they can find something guilty on you or something like that, or everyone has dirt on them. So like you know, if someone really if the government really wants to like pin you down on a crime or something, they'll find the evidence, kind of deal.
By hitting the media.
And that's kind of what Andrew's kind of pointing out is if you know, you could go and like, you know, take anyone and you can take anyone and take a video of them or you know, go through their lives and probably find like 100 laws they break. Oh, I think there's a saying like every American breaks like 50 laws a day or something like that, you know. So that's the point he's trying to make.
And encourage people to come forward for money. And you try to contact every ex-girlfriend that's ever had.
Would come forward and accuse those people of rape and accuse those
I
people
think that you would have a lot more.
She's trying to like act like that's a new thing. Like, yes. If you try, if you offer them money, you know, someone somewhere is gonna say yes. I mean, that's what happened with the two quote unquote accusers. If you read their WhatsApp messages again, go look at that Fresh and Fit video, and it's pretty clear that's what happened with them.
I think you would have.
And this reporter knows that. I guarantee she's seen the WhatsApp messages that were leaked.
A lot more flack than I've got. I'm actually such a nice person that I've never had anyone come
spoken to somebody since your arrest who says exactly those things. That with you, it's all manipulation. There's an ulterior.
Is this
kind of convenient?
Sophie? Is this Sophie? Oh, it's Sophie. The fake name, no face. No, the story that was invented.
Wanting to please him and wanting him to be happy, that I was just kind of, yeah, okay, do whatever you want.
And what?
Whoa. So she said I was so in love with him and wanting to please him that I said, yeah, do whatever you want. Doesn't sound like she's being forced. I think that's really important. She glossed over that, but it doesn't sound like she's being forced. She is the one who's in her feelings and saying, you know, oh yeah, go ahead, do whatever you want. I mean, nowhere in that statement that this BBC reporter just read did it state I said no, or I made it clear I didn't want to, or I said no at all, or gave any indications of no, and he still made me do it. Kind of important.
What is she accused? Has she accused me of a crime? This imaginary.
Oh yeah. Here's something. She hasn't accused him of crime. Only gone to the media. Interesting.
She's making the point that there is.
Has she accused me of a crime?
Emotional or psychological manipulation.
I've asked you a question, and I've allowed you into my house.
I'm asking you a question.
Correct, but you're not the boss here because I've allowed you into my house.
I'm asking you the question.
Correctly, and I'm telling you.
You get to decide the answers.
No, we're equal here. I've allowed you into my house. You don't come here with a position of authority. I'm doing you the favor as legacy media, giving you relevance by speaking to you, and I'm telling you.
I mean, they've been really wanting to talk to him.
Now, this Sophie, which the BBC has invented, which there's no face of, nobody knows who she is.
The BBC did not invent.
Of course not. And because you never.
I don't think Andrew believes her.
Never invent anything. And she's not filed criminal charges against me. What are we talking about here? What is she saying?
Talking about emotional manipulation. It's the sex industry for your financial gain.
Absolute garbage.
I mean, according to the quote she read earlier, it was both the person, so both Sophie and Andrew's financial gain, not just Andrew's financial gain, according to the quote she read.
She has not filed criminal. This person, if they exist, has not filed criminal charges against me. I welcome anybody who believes I've harmed them, male or female, any point in the past to file criminal charges against me. I will fight them. I know who I am, and I know what I've done, and I know the truth, and I know that I'll be found innocent of this attack. The reason I'm being attacked is because of my massive influence, not because I've ever hurt anybody. And for you to sit here and say that everybody around you is saying you're innocent, but that doesn't matter because the state will say they're victims, and they're just going to grab everybody you know and call everybody victims, even if they say they're not, and try and put you in jail. You are describing a matrix attack. You're not describing human trafficking.
I'm describing women who are going to court to accuse you of rape and human trafficking.
We will see what women.
There's two women, at least, and then one imaginary fake one that isn't going to court.
We will see what women go to court at the end of this trial.
Please?
We'll see which women go.
Can I finish, please?
We'll see which women go to court.
I'm describing.
Is it just me, or is this like BBC chick a cunt? Like, I'm just gonna say it. She's a bit of a cunt. Like, I think she clear. I mean, it's clear she had an agenda, and she wanted to. You know, she has an agenda. She's trying to get him to her names out and all that shit. Like, this is a hit piece again.
Women who are going to court to accuse you of rape and human
Sophie isn't going to
trafficking.
court.
Rape was dismissed, dear lady.
Sophie doesn't
And
exist.
I'm describing women who have spoken to the BBC at length
Sophie doesn't exist.
and other media organizations about what they say is emotional manipulation and coercion. And I'm quoting back to you your own words where you describe
They're not my words.
coercion.
They're words
and
you
emotional
found. They're
manipulation.
words you found on the internet, and Sophie doesn't exist.
On
So
your
let's move on to
website,
the next
in
subject.
your voice.
Move on to the next subject.
She saw. Okay, so no, never mind.
No, I think I'll stick on this one for a minute.
Oh no, I think I'll stick on this one.
So there's other places in that same website where you say you get girls to fall in love with you, and they do it because they love you, because they want.
Where's the video of this? Like, you guys got any video evidence of him saying that? I mean, I don't know.
To do what you say. Convincing women to take part in some kind of business arrangement doesn't work long term because they're emotional. You've got to get them to fall in love with you.
Once
That's
again,
coercion. That's emotional manipulation. That's abuse.
That's not a crime. Emotional manipulation is not a crime, and it's not abuse either.
what you found are clips from the internet, some text from the internet, and you're going to sit here and tell me that that's the reason I should be.
Your website, your words.
It's not my website.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. Check my website. Next.
It's the
Next.
website you've taken down, and I wonder why those comments have been taken down.
No website's been taken down. My website is the same. It's been the same for a very long time.
The comments on this website, on the original.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, Hustlers University was taken down, but he didn't take it down. It was taken down by the other media. It wasn't taken down by him. It was like forced to be taken down or something. He didn't like willingly take it down or anything. And then he rebranded and redid it as Meet the World or something like that. So just pointing that out.
Website have been taken down, and I wonder why.
You are accusing me. I'm guessing what you're trying to say is you're accusing me, and you're trying to say that I'm guilty of the things I'm accused of, and I'm emotionally manipulating.
I'm saying that you have said you emotionally manipulated people here for your own financial gain.
No, absolutely not.
I mean, even if he did, not saying he did, but even if he did, it wasn't just for his financial gain, it was also for their financial gain. And there's been nothing said that they were forced to do it, which is kind of important if you're talking about crime. Making someone fall in love with you and then asking them to do stuff and they willingly do that stuff is not emotional manipulation.
And I'm asking you.
I guess it is emotional manipulation. Anyways, the point is emotional manipulation isn't a crime. It's the kind of the big point.
About that.
Absolutely not is the answer. I look forward to the end of this trial. I look forward to clearing my name.
I hope there's no trial. I hope it comes out, no charges. Because if they don't charge him with, in the 6-month period, and it's nearly up, then they have to let him go. And that would be wonderful.
To the BBC and the legacy media having to.
And I'm willing to bet after, if there's no charges that were taken, there's no trial, whatever, I'm willing to bet Andrew Tate and his team released everything. I hope they do.
Say not guilty and having to tell the truth. As I've said before, the only other person who's been found, despite absolute rigorous, destructive levels of investigation and prodding into my life, is this imaginary Sophie by the BBC who doesn't exist. And if you were to find any single other man on earth and try and analyze his life forensically to the level they've done mine, you would find genuine damage to people. I don't hurt people.
It's not just.
Thousands of women have come out in my defense. Thousands of women have come out in my defense, and you've not mentioned that. Thousands of women come out in my defense.
Because the problem is when women accuse you of serious crimes.
I mean, the rape one was dismissed, and there's no evidence of human trafficking at all. So he didn't rape anyone. He didn't traffic anyone. Kind of important.
Okay,
Emotional
well, let's agree that
emotional manipulation is not a crime, you dumb chick.
thousands of women. Let's agree that
it's
thousands.
not the problem that some people say you haven't done.
Some people, 1,000 versus 2, kind of a big number. I'm just saying.
It's a problem that some people say you have.
Thousands of women come out in my defense, and as we stand right now, we have an open criminal investigation. People who are involved in the criminal investigation are saying we're not victims of anything, Andrew's fine. He's never hurt us. You're saying, no, I have the opposite to that. I have the counter to that. I have someone called Sophie with no face, a fake name, who we've invented, and she's not accusing you of anything criminal. So I don't see the whole point you're trying to make.
You say you manipulate women. They say you manipulate women. Why wouldn't people think you do?
I'm not here. Do you think I'm manipulating you?
I'm asking you about the testimony you've given on your website.
Whoa, that's not testimony. There's no proof that he actually said that. Just saying.
And the testimony
you've printed something off that you found on Reddit, and you're going to sit here and say that makes me a bad person. I'm saying that you should know better as a journalist and do some proper journalism. Let's investigate the fact that thousands.
I think you should answer my questions
properly. I already have, and we should move on. She's just trying to start arguing.
It's not only about the criminal allegations. It's a much bigger issue. You've got children's organisations in the UK. You've got rape organisations in the UK. You've got the police naming you by name as someone who has a harmful influence on children and
so just because they say it's true, that's dumb.
On women in the UK and elsewhere, because of the things you say, because of the way you present gender relations, the way you say men should treat women.
That's very upsetting. And the reason that's very upsetting is because I know that's not true. I'm genuinely a good person. I believe my impact on the world is positive. In fact, if you were to read the comment section of nearly any video I post, especially by the legacy media, 95% of the population agree with me. Most people know that the things I say are positive. Legacy media as a whole has lost all its credibility in the last 3 to 4 years. Nobody.
That's true. They really have. I mean, CNN has. Oh my God, their credibility is shot to shit, especially with the Russia investigation turning into being an actual hoax and proven to be a hoax.
And it's a shame. It's a massive shame the BBC come here and try and push and purport this idea that I'm a dangerous person. I'm anti-drugs. I've never pushed drugs or any. I'm anti-drugs. I'm anti-violence. The UK is facing a knife crime epidemic, and they're going to sit here and say that I'm the most dangerous man in the UK.
You have said you're the most dangerous man in the world.
I've said I'm the most dangerous.
Okay, so what she's referring to there, I'm pretty sure, is this AI. Okay, sorry. It was an obvious AI, like text readout or voicemail or whatever. If again, go watch the Fresh and Fit video. It was clearly an AI. Like the voice, like look. If you listen to this and watch like 3 videos of Andrew, not even 3, 1 maybe, it would probably do it. It was clearly an AI that was doing this. It wasn't his actual voice.
Dangerous man in the world.
You've also said that a woman's intimate parts belong to her male partner. I'm glad you find that funny.
I find it funny that you're sitting here saying that I've said I'm the most dangerous man in the world, and you believe that's. When did I say that?
I'm asking if you believe it.
No, you said you're the most dangerous man in the world. Is that some kind of proof that I'm dangerous? Am I Dr. Evil now? I'm telling you that it's very upsetting that you're going to sit here and that certain organizations in the world are going to try and pretend that I'm the biggest force of evil on earth when I'm genuinely a force for good. I'm genuinely a force for good. And the reason they're doing this is because of the massive influence I have over the youth. And they don't like that I'm telling the youth to think outside of the matrix and ignore things like the BBC, which come here with loaded questions and false narratives and try and paint innocent people as guilty.
You've said women's intimate parts belong to their male partner.
I said that if a woman marries a man, she takes his last name and traditionally the man gives her away. I've been pushing traditional religious beliefs because I'm a religious man and traditional beliefs in regards to marriage, which everybody accepted 10 to 15 years ago.
So
that's not a crazy conspiracy theory. If you're going to sit here and say that me believing a woman should take a man's last name in marriage makes me the most dangerous man in the world, then you're just going to lose even more credibility than the BBC's already lost in the last 4 to 5 years. If that's your point, if that's your narrative you want to push,
say that
good
men
luck.
should be able to sleep with a lot of women outside marriage. That doesn't sound very religious.
That's not what I said they should be able to. I said a lot of high-value men, a lot of rich men do it, and then we discussed at length.
That's actually a really good point. That's what like the red pill space really gets criticized for, is like they're like, oh, they're saying men should cheat. No, that's not like, if you watch Fresh and Fit, you watch, Andrew Tate and stuff, mostly Fresh and Fit. I mean, Andrew Tate. I'm pretty sure once Pearly things. No, he's right. So yeah, never mind. But anyways, like, what they say is like, they're saying like a high value man, someone that makes a lot of money, is in shape, et cetera, rare and all that stuff. He, the odds of him cheating are a lot higher. And honestly, all it really is just warning women that like, hey, if you get into a relationship with these type of guys, expect this. This is going to happen, and you need to, be prepared for it. It's really just a warning, is what it really is. But people get it all twisted, saying, they have to accept it or whatever. I mean, like, they said that they should accept it, and if they do, it's their choice. But it's they're just pointing out like the reality. It's like, if you're, if you make a lot, if you're a dude and you've worked your ass off, make a huge, like a lot of money, and and you've taken care of yourself, you're fit, and you're basically the ideal man for most women. And a lot of women are throwing yourselves at them. Why wouldn't you sleep with them? I mean, it is what it is. That all it really is just a warning. Like, hey, just expect this. If you're with a guy who's really successful and a high value man, expect that this is going to happen. I don't think there's anything wrong with just warning, just putting it on notice. Because a lot of these chicks, if you watch Fresh and Fit and everything, they think that, oh, I'm just going to meet this really high value man that's rare and everything, and he'll just be monogamous to me. Oh, that's really stupid to think. Like, if it's just really stupid to think. Like, I mean, if I get with like a chick that's like a perpetual cheater that sleeps with with anyone and everything, and I go out and date her, I should probably assume that she's gonna do that at some point. She's gonna cheat on me. It's the same principle. That's all they're really saying, is like, hey, just be warned, just be aware that this is probably gonna happen, because most men don't get women throwing themselves at them. Most women get a lot of men throwing themselves at them. So that's just the fact of reality.
On podcasts, why rich men do it. And we also discussed why women decide to be unfaithful. It's not a gendered argument. We discussed unfaithfulness as a whole. What are the reasons and motivations for men, and what are the reasons and motivations for women? Because you have no time to actually, watch my content, because you have no time to actually.
See, she always keeps cutting him off, and he doesn't let her, which is good. But Jesus Christ, lady.
Watch my content at length and understand what I'm saying. You just come here with a small snippet, which we provided to you on a piece of paper.
Times doesn't make it true.
No, completely. You don't have a clue what I say or what I talk about. You never watch my content. You have small pieces of paper, small clips on a piece of paper, and you're trying to pretend I've said evil things. And then you're going to say I'm the most dangerous man in the world, which is truly laughable.
You said that, not me.
Okay. Do you believe I'm the most dangerous man in the world, Lucy?
I'm not answering your questions.
Well, then we need to change the dynamic of this interview, because, and I'll make this clear, I allowed you into my home. I'm doing you a favor, giving you the first interview I'm giving to the public. You don't come here with a position of authority. You're not the police. I don't respect the BBC. I don't know you. You do not come here with a position of authority over me. We are equals. We are people. We're citizens of the world, and we sit here as equals. And I see you as my equal. And if you ask me questions, I can ask you questions back. For you to come here and sit down and pretend you're the Gestapo and that you don't have to answer my questions is disingenuous, because I don't owe you anything.
Asking questions and you answer.
But I don't owe
however you want.
This is a conversation. And I don't owe you any degree of authority over me. So let's make that clear. And that doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman or from the BBC or the CNN. I'm here to answer your questions and be honest with you and do you a favor.
Correct.
And I'm doing you a favor. But you come here with loaded questions. You're trying to paint a narrative of me which is negative.
I'm asking you about things you've said that people are concerned about.
And that's fine. But you're not going to sit here and say you don't answer my questions because you're not above me.
This is also not supposed to be a third degree. It's supposed to be a conversation.
Absolutely.
Well, it would help if you answered the question.
I've answered every question so far.
Let me ask you another question.
Sure.
You have said that a woman's intimate parts belong to her male partner, and if she goes on OnlyFans, he is entitled to a cut of her income.
You are extremely, it's very confusing to me why you're going to sit here, take long format podcasts I've done, which are 3 or 4 hours long, in context where I've sat with OnlyFans girls, 10 or 15 OnlyFans girls, where we've been joking back and forth, ignore every comment and satirical comment and sarcastic comment that the females have made, and then come along and say, you said this, and you're the most evil man in the world. I don't know if you understand what sarcasm is. I don't know if you understand what sarcasm is. I don't know if you understand what context is. I don't know if you understand what satirical content.
So you're saying it's sarcastic?
I'm saying it was a very interesting talk show. And for you to sit here and say that that is my true core beliefs and that makes me a bad person is disingenuous.
Is it?
Of course not.
Was it sarcasm?
Absolutely. You should watch the show.
You were being sarcastic when you said, let me just clarify.
You should watch the show.
Let me clarify for the audience. You were being sarcastic when you said a woman's intimate parts belong to her male partner.
No.
You didn't believe that.
No, it's not that. It's that you haven't watched the show at length, and you should have, because the woman was saying, my man's car belongs to me because he's my man. and she was on OnlyFans. And then 20 minutes later, when she said she was on OnlyFans, I said, well, you're selling your body, that belongs to him because he's your man. And she laughed. She laughed, and she said, yeah, that's probably true. If you watch the show, it will make sense. For you to come here with doing no research at all and then say, I don't understand what I'm talking about, but I've got this piece of paper with a few things printed off. That's why you're saying the silly things you're saying. You should watch the show, do some research.
Do you believe it?
I've already answered the question.
Not really.
Of course I have.
Not really. Not to your satisfaction, you should say. You didn't answer. He didn't answer the way you wanted. You said no.
Can we move on? I've answered the question.
Do you believe that a woman's intimate parts belong to her male?
Of course not. I've just answered the question. And does this woman believe that her man's car belongs to her? It's not a gendered argument. I really think that it's genuinely sad that when the BBC has a chance to finally interview me at the end of all this Matrix attack, that they don't come here with any kind of genuine openness to try and understand my influence over the world or the things I push or what I'm trying to teach the world or why I'm a good influence on the world, because I am a massively good influence. Instead, they come here with pieces of paper with printed out excerpts from 5-year-old podcasts, taken out of context, to attempt the same Matrix attack on me, which has been attempted endlessly. Every single person in legacy media has already tried this, and it doesn't work. I really encourage you. I encourage you to read the comment section on YouTube when this goes on YouTube, and you will see that nobody believes a word you're saying.
The reason we're asking you about these comments is because we've got the chief executive of Rape Crisis naming you individually as spreading a dangerous ideology.
He's never raped anyone. He's never gone and said, hey, you should rape people. Like, this is ridiculous. So just because someone names, so let's say that same person names this chick, whatever, Susan, whatever the hell her name is. Does that mean she's at fault? That's a ridiculous argument.
Of misogynistic rape culture.
Absolute.
It's the comments you make that are leading people to say things like
absolute garbage.
National organizations who are saying that, blaming you for increasing levels of misogyny. Schools that are saying they are having.
No, that's not his fault. That's those, if you're blaming Tate for these, kids acting up in school, it's the parents' fault. It's not Andrew's fault. This is just bad parenting, and instead of owning up to the bad parenting, they're just trying to shift the blame. It's complete bullshit. All right, if you're a shit parent that's letting your kid watch stuff that you don't agree with, that's your own damn fault. It's not Andrew's fault.
Increased incidents of girls being attacked.
I highly doubt there's increased incidents of girls being attacked because of what Andrew Tate says. I highly doubt that.
Female teachers being harassed.
And even say that's what it is. I'm willing to bet those kids are just lying just so they don't get in trouble. I'm willing to bet that's more likely than it is actually Andrew Tate's fault.
If that was true,
pupils,
if that
because of you and your teaching,
well, that's absolute garbage. I have never ever encouraged a student to attack a teacher, male or female, ever. I preach hard work, discipline. I'm an athlete. I preach anti-drug. I preach religion. I preach no alcohol. I preach no knife crime. Every single problem with modern society, I'm against. I'm teaching young men to be disciplined, to be diligent, to listen, to train, to work hard, to be exactly like me, with no criminal record, never even yet charged in this 14-month Matrix investigation. And I'm saying that if men grew up like me, which are hardworking and diligent and some emotional control and stoic, we're going to have a better society, not a worse society. To sit here and say that schools in England, which is a failing nation, which has knife crime going through the roof, violence going through the roof, men's mental health going through the roof, and they're going to all blame me because I appeared on the internet 1 year ago, is disingenuous. It's disingenuous. And also
financial success,
correct,
with a Bugatti and a cigar, but it comes with a side order of misogyny.
How does having a Bugatti and a cigar come with misogyny?
Because it's all mixed together in what you teach. You teach that if a woman comes home and accuses you of cheating, you should hit her with a machete, shove her off.
Is that what I?
Oh my God, that is so disingenuous. This chick obviously didn't do any fucking research. That's so disingenuous. That's not what he said. I mean, he's going to explain what he actually said, but when I watched this, it was such bullshit when I saw this.
Is that what I teach?
That's what you say.
No, if you actually watch the clip, it will be about the woman attacking me with a machete. As usual, you've not watched the video, taken out of context, flipped it, and attempted to attack me with a small excerpt. Let me tell you something, Lucy. I'm sure you're a very nice person. I'm sure you're a fantastic person. But if I were to take everything you've ever said online and just take small excerpts out of context, I could make you look like a misogynist. I guarantee it. In fact, I might actually do that. And then you're going to sit here and say, oh shit, I'm a misogynist because my clips have been taken out of context. If you refuse to watch anything at length and understand it, then that's what's going to happen.
The National Police Chiefs League for Violence Against Women, the NSPCC, Rape Crisis, Safer Schools, they are all naming you as being behind an epidemic of misogyny, even amongst primary school children.
The idea that I made primary school children misogynistic because I own a nice car. Is that your argument?
It's the misogyny that comes along with it.
Oh, owning a nice car is misogynist.
No, it's the misogyny that comes along with it.
How does misogyny come along with owning a nice car?
Because you have an image of financial
I'm glad you're answering my questions now. We finally got the dynamic.
You have an image of financial success. Excuse me. You have an image of financial success, but it comes along with attitudes towards women that are really problematic.
My attitudes towards women is that women should be protected and provided for, and I've said that at length. In fact, I've said that over 50 times online. You never mention it. I say that my girlfriend doesn't have to work unless she wants to. I take care of her. I die to protect a woman. I've talked about how I've stood up and faced a knife to protect a woman.
And in return, you want authority over her in the way you have over a child or a dog.
Absolutely not. I've said that women should be protected and provided for.
And in return, you want authority over her, because if you have responsibility for someone like a child or a dog, you say, you have authority over them.
If you want to go down this argument, we'll go down this nuanced argument. I said that if I have responsibility for her safety, I should have a degree of authority over her safety. Meaning, and let me explain my point. If I'm the one who has to fight and die to protect her, I'm the one who decides how we walk home. I'm the one who decides the route we take. Because it's unfair for her to say, I want to walk through the most dangerous neighborhood in the world, but you have to face the knives. That's what I've said. And then you're going to sit here and pretend that I'm trying to treat women like dogs, which is garbage. Every single man in the world who loves his woman understands that he has to protect her. And every single woman in the world likes the idea of a man who would protect her. If you were to say to most women home right now, do you want your husband to protect you in a violent attack? They'd say, yeah, of course. Nothing I've said is misogynistic.
If you said to most women, would you want to lose authority in the relationship, to not be treated as a free and legal equal?
I didn't say that. I said I need to have authority over the route we walk home.
So Andrew has a really good point. But let's see. Andrew is making a really good point. But I am running out of time. I only got an hour for my recordings because I'm poor and don't have enough money to spend on it. So we're gonna stop it there. I'll have I'll do another video, and that'll be part 2. And I'll probably discuss the Aubin Preach Fresh and Fit a little more because there's some ridiculousness that went on. But yeah, so I mean, I'll say what I want to say in the next video because I got a long spiel about the authority thing. But if you're watching this and you liked it, and even if you didn't like it, please like and subscribe on the video. Be much appreciated. And also, be sure to check out my Rumble channel. Eventually, I will have a Rumble with gaming. I think I'm going to start that up this weekend. So check that out as well. Let's see what else. Make sure to check. Make sure to follow me on Twitter at official with Ghost. All right, that's my Twitter. And yeah, absolutely. I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I hope you'll enjoy part 2. That'll be coming shortly after this one. I lost my train of thought. Yeah, it's whatever. So, but yeah, like, subscribe, and please check out my next video. Peace.